What do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent, or that their mortgages aren't like...
You're telling me that in China, a communist country, that I could go there and buy a home, like I pay the mortgage, and it is mine, for 70 years. That is my property. I don't ever have to worry about losing my job, getting sick, or just not even being able to pay the bills. It's mine.
Everybody else around the world, Russians, Hispanic, Caribbeans, Africans, Asians, have been trying to tell American people for years on this app that your country...
Hey fam, Gracie here once again. Welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that from wherever you my lovelies are watching this from, you're doing alright and God has protected you and preserved you very well. And to you that continuously support me on here, I do appreciate you and don't take any of you for granted. Shout out to my members that keep it in here. I really appreciate you guys. You do me amazing. We do have an interesting one to look at today, and this is a reflection of the palm-colored tears and entitlement, and they are crashing down because they are finding out that China has it better than they do have it. And so we are going to look at this palm-colored lady that is literally in tears. She is crying. She is losing it. She's crashing. She is literally losing it. And guess what? She's not the only one. If you don't watch this story, you may think we are making this up. But if you're landing on the channel for your first time, please don't forget to subscribe. Let's watch.
Like, what do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent, or that their mortgages aren't like their entire paycheck? What do you mean that people in China work one job and they don't even work 40 hours and they can easily afford their life? And then I'm over here working 60 hours a week, just me as a single parent, to like barely make ends meet, and I'm penny pinching every single second, and like there's so much of life that my kid misses out on and that I miss out on.
You're telling me that in China, a communist country, that I could go there and buy a home, like I pay the mortgage, and it is mine, for 70 years. That is my property. I don't ever have to worry about losing my job, getting sick, or just not even being able to pay the bills. It's mine. And then when that 70 years is up, all I have to do is renew the property tax for a small fee that's nowhere close to the amount that I would have to pay in America. Wow, what a concept. You're telling me that the only property tax that they pay on their vehicles is a small vessel tax that is attached to their insurance that they pay? What a concept. You're telling me that public spaces such as museums and zoos are free because it's a public space? What a concept. You're telling me that you can work a part-time job, and as long as you don't make over 5,000, whatever their currency is, that you won't be taxed on it? What a concept.
I'm just cut it off right there. Dry up them fucking crocodile tears, Sarah. I don't care. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because this is white people's fault. This is white people's fault. And now y'all want to boo-hoo and cry because y'all done got on that Chinese app and they done put the Uno reverse card on y'all ass and held up that mirror and told y'all, no, y'all are the brokies. Not us. We not the brokies. It's y'all. And y'all got to face the cold, hard reality that y'all have made this bed and now y'all got to sit in it. No, take accountability. Don't sit here and boo-hoo and cry and get on that TikTok and talk on the internet talking about what are we going to do? What are we going to do? No, what are y'all going to do? Because black people have been telling y'all for fucking decades. We have been protesting. We have been doing everything for all these fucking decades. And y'all have sat back and reaped the rewards thinking y'all was a part of the club because y'all was white. Y'all thought this shit was about race. No, it's always been about class. And y'all were never a part of the club. Y'all make up 60% of this country's population. There's no we. It's y'all. Every minority could vote or go against something that, or go for something that we know is good for the people. And y'all would turn it down because y'all have the overwhelming majority. So it's no we, it's y'all. Fix y'all shit. I know y'all don't like to take accountability for nothing, but now it's time. Y'all over there boohooing crying because y'all seeing the Chinese Walmart and they over there paying $3 for a whole goddamn bag of groceries. Meanwhile, you got to pay $200 and barely fill up your grocery cart. See, all those things you're boohooing and crying about, FDR made that happen. But then it all went away in 1967. Why did I say 1967? What does that correlate to? Oh, the Civil Rights Act was passed. Integration happened. And then white people stripped away or voted against themselves to strip away all public services and entities and all those great things that y'all had prior to integration because y'all didn't want black people to have the shit. So y'all gave all that up in the 1980s when Reagan created trickle-down economics because y'all didn't want us to have. He gave us crack and trickle-down economics. And y'all was cool with that. Y'all made a deal with the devil and now y'all got to accept the consequences of y'all fucking actions. Y'all had affordable housing. Y'all didn't have fucking credit scores. Y'all didn't have, you can send your kids to college for the free or for the low. We had advanced and effective public transit and services in this country. But y'all gave all of it away because y'all didn't want niggas to have access. Y'all fought so hard with things like red line and all these different things to hold black people back to keep us from getting a piece of the pie. Whole time they taking y'all pie. And now y'all got to face the music. And y'all don't, now you want to boo-hoo. Y'all let them pass the Patriot Act in the act of protecting us from terrorists. Use that Islamophobia against y'all dumbass. Y'all let them further push the Patriot Act in 2019 because of that the immigration that y'all was so afraid of, all the immigrants, right? Just taking away all y'all fucking right. Now y'all want to point and what are we gonna do? No, what are y'all gonna do? Because when black people out here marching for police brutality, who they just do things to us and write a fake ass police report and get away with it and nothing happens, you think or when we did ride when things like Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin happened, and the original Black Lives Matter activists, that the original movement that got hijacked, you know what I'm saying, the original activists that was out there on the ground got took out by the police. Oh no, y'all ain't say nothing then. When we telling y'all that they're interfering in our freedoms and our rights, but no, it's black people, so we ain't. It's not us, it's them. Well, I'm not. I shouldn't have to pay for the sins of my fathers. I didn't own any slaves. I'm not racist. Yes, but you're compliant to the system and you're complacent and you're okay with the system that gave you an edge up against us. Go back to R. Kelly or the things that was going on at Nickelodeon or with Harvey Weinstein, all that weird shit, right? There were people still giving up their kids to that, making deals, still going up there knowing everything that was going on, putting their children, putting their livelihoods, cameramen, people going to get opportunities and jobs. They did not care so long as it wasn't them. And that was y'all this entire time up until now. Go back and look at the prequel to the Purges. Where did they start? How did they get people to approve some shit like the Purge? They started in the hood. They started with black people. They started with the disenfranchised. So when y'all turn a blind eye and y'all let that shit go on with black people and we getting our ass whipped by police and we getting our rights taken away and we getting profiled and we getting this, and they're slowly implementing that shit and they were slowly draining that shit from y'all. It look like, come on, bruh. You would have thought y'all would have woke up when that shit happened in North Carolina and that hurricane went up there and fucked them up. But no, what did they turn into? Oh, well, it's Biden. Whole time North Carolina is a red fucking state. Oh, like your local governments fucking failed y'all. So no, there's no, what are we gonna do? No, it's what y'all gonna do. Grab y'all fucking nuts and go do something. Because we, black people, we tired of being y'all fucking crash dummies and going out there and then they give y'all a little piece of the pie and then y'all go back and y'all let us out there to fucking drown. No, y'all go do something. Oh, and never forget, we could have had Bernie, but y'all said he was a socialist.
American people have been on Xiaohongshu for 2 days, and I literally just stumbled across a live with Chinese people explaining to American people why communist countries are better because they don't privatize necessities for life. Necessities such as food, healthcare, water, housing. 我讨厌美国. Not only do they dress better than us, they are fed, they have homes, they have healthcare. In America, we have Sean King. In China, they have Chongqing, a city that is over 4 times the size of New York, and they've managed to nearly eradicate homelessness. I'm not even joking when I say this. If you guys are afraid of China, crowdfund me a trip there and I will literally go and see how it is for myself. I am so tired of America saying that China is the bad guy while simultaneously funding multiple genocides in this country. America literally just chased us off an app onto a platform that is called Little Red Notebook in reference to Mao Zedong's Little Red Notebook of Chinese propaganda. Communists are literally running laps around us, and it is quite embarrassing as an American, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, 大家好.
Like, what do you mean in other countries? They don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries. What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent or that their mortgages aren't late?
Let's be honest. Let's be honest, Sally. The reason why we have to spend as much money as we do is for a couple reasons. 1, racism. 2, corporate greed. And 3, a lot of YT individuals never see the plot of the movie. That's just what it is at the end of the day. 1 is corporate greed. This capitalist system that we have generated and created, every single time that we as a people try to realize, hey, we need stronger unions, we need better pay, we need this, we need that, you choose to vote against it. You choose to step aside and allow corporate greed to take everything else. It doesn't matter what the majority of the populace think. Yeah, I don't care about that. Other countries care about their people, care about their livelihoods, their accessibility to being able to have a more leisure lifestyle. Okay? That makes all the sense in the world. For you to cry and not understand where you are in the position that you are in doesn't make sense to me. We could have had free healthcare, universal healthcare since the 60s. You know why that never happened? It's because of racism. Racism. Anytime that there are things that would make America better, because a certain group does not want black people or people of color to take advantage or use those same things, they rather say no and dig a ditch even further to impoverish their future generations than to instead just do the right thing in the first place. That's just what it is at the end of the day. So there's no reason to crying, boo-hoo, and all this other stuff. Y'all could have easily prevented this. You chose not to. So, congratulations. You play dumb games, you win dumb prizes. Now you have to figure out, how can I pay rent? How can I pay a car note, insurance, and everything else as it consistently keeps going up by 10 to 15%? Because remember this, the average for a 1-bedroom now is $2,000. That's the average now, depending on where you live. Buying a home, dream.
So I just saw a post where a young white woman is upset and crying because she's understanding how easy they have it in China. And she doesn't understand why, as Americans, we have to work so hard just to have so little. She doesn't understand why we're spending 20% of our income on groceries. And she goes on to list a lot of problems, and she's like, it didn't need to be this hard? What do you mean we didn't have to do it like this? And I started to empathize with her, but then in the back of my mind, I thought, girl, this isn't new. Why is this new to you? And then I realized for quite some time, a lot of white people in this country, the issues that black people had, they thought they were just black people issues. When black people were spending 20% of their income on groceries, white people thought, oh, that's a black people problem. When black people had to work 2 jobs to make ends meet, white people thought, that's unfortunate. And now that the black people's problems have reached white people have hot tears, and they don't understand how it came to be this way. Now, this is one of the reasons why it's important in any country or any place to listen to those who are marginalized. Those people are kind of like a canary in the coal mine, letting you know, hey, we got some issues. You can't see it and maybe it's invisible to you, but they are on the way.
I got two terms for you: plausible deniability and collateral damage. You see, many of them are ignorant, and I mean that as in lack of knowledge, because they lack CRT, critical race theory. They haven't studied or have been well versed on how racism is embedded in every law of our country. So because of this, and when they act out in a prejudice or racist manner, they are unaware that they are adding to the plausible deniability, which is the ability to deny responsibility for actions taken by the government which they are a part of and they benefit. To deny responsibility for the actions taken by others, the government, even if you were involved or aware. So which means that you can play stupid all you want. You can play stupid, can't nobody prove that you knew better. So the collateral damage is all those that are playing ignorant or stupid like they don't know any better. When the fallout comes and it hits us as a melanated people, many of the ignorant Caucasians receive the fallout. Like they raising the rent and everything to keep us from being able to afford a place to live, so that they can enact vagrancy laws that will violate the 13th Amendment, which would be a reason to draw a person back into slavery, which is the correction system. I mean, like, does anybody remember, what was it, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, that we was all in a big old argument because it was so many Caucasian people talk about, oh, well, I get stopped by the police just as much as you do. And they take us out and they throw us against the car and they do this to us and they do that to us. It don't just happen to black people. Well, it happens to y'all so that they can throw off the hint that it is predominantly, that is the big word, predominantly happening to us in an unfair, proportionate manner.
Everybody else around the world, Russians, Hispanic, Caribbeans, Africans, Asians, have been trying to tell American people for years on this app that your country ain't shit, and you didn't believe us. We have been trying to tell these people for years that America is that one country in 5 Gucci belts with no side tooth, and you lot didn't want to hear us. It took an app to make you realize that compared to everybody else around the world, you can't afford food. It took an app to make these people understand that unlike them, everybody else around the world have universal health care. It took an app to make these people realize that unlike everybody else in the Western world, include themselves, the rest of us ain't dealing with shit like credit. We actually own shit back home. I wonder what they're gonna do when they find out that in certain countries, you don't even need a card to pay for things, nor do you need contactless. You can just use your hands. Why do you think the leaders of your so-called free world have spent years and years invading other people's country with their troops? Why do you think everybody else around the world stay collecting sanctions like Pokemon balls, bruv, from America the minute we struck some form of resource? Why do you think this false narrative is constantly being created against other people around the world? We come to you man's countries and you lot just automatically believe that we're impoverished. Why do you think your workers' rights are so bad to the point where niggas are working 3 jobs and still living from pillar to post? Why do you think your education system is so bad? That country is designed to keep humans in the dark, babes. This is why when we are telling you, you need to travel and go see the world for yourself instead of judging other countries. And humans are turning around talking about, oh, America is so big, why would we leave? That's why we look at humans like dickheads, bruv. But it's not all lost. Because the same world leaders who were trying to lie to you turn around and fuck themselves so hard trying to ban that app, they pushed humans in the light of truth, bruv. So now all you niggas need to do, if you really want to know more about what's really going on in the world outside of the bullshit that they're telling you, if you are privileged enough and you have a passport or you have a visa that allows you to travel, fuck that job and go and see the world. Because believe it or not, you niggas for years have been living in the fucking matrix. Good night.
So what she's talking about is Rednote exposing Americans to the world. That's happening right now with Rednote. We're getting exposed to other cultures and how their governments actually treat them beyond the American media. That's why they started backpedaling already. They unleashed something that they didn't understand. Well, we can just go somewhere else. We don't fuck with Facebook like that. Instagram is okay. Fuck X, right? So we go somewhere else. As soon as Americans did, please go back and watch this video. As soon as Americans did, they saw these motherfuckers been lying to us. They living good as shit. They actually get to buy a house and never have to pay taxes on it, which means there is no homeless. That's a big piece. There are a whole bunch of apartment buildings with elders because they just been paying their house off since they were younger because they don't have to go anywhere. Even if money gets tight, people in America are seeing we've been lied to. That's what it boils down to. A lot of us aren't going to say we've been lied to, but they'll be saying, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we implementing this? Why aren't our politicians? But it's all boils down to, you don't think the American politicians know how Chinese citizens live? Boy, if they get that, listen, we get something as far as the Middle East and really showing different parts of Africa, America will, in many instances, look like a slum to the world. It's just some people have so much shit, and even the poor people here have iPhones, name brand gear, right? So even though very empowered, but it's hurting us. We struggling day to day. Day to day is hard, and why it's getting harder, magically, big business are having record profits every fucking year. How does that work? How everybody's struggling but the motherfuckers that's giving the jobs out. So that means they ain't paying shit. And they keep taking and taking. Listen, y'all. I said, I'm going to go. I've said this before. Trump is needed. This is all because of Trump. For Zuckerberg to have the guts to put that in front of them, that's all Trump shit. And that mindset of white male dominance, and we're going to get this shit done even by force. That's what that is. And it exposed Americans to the fucking world. And there's a lot of folks that are confused right now. We've been lied to, folks. God damn.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. When the marginalized groups in this country were screaming from the hilltops that we needed to rally together and fix this mess, when us black women were on the front lines trying our best to save this country, there wasn't a problem. This was the land of the free and the home of the brave. That's because the system wasn't affecting their households. And now that it has come back, now that it has spun the block to bite them in the ass, oh, now it's a problem. Yeah. Well, guess what? We're on vacation now. It's left up to them to fix this mess.
No homeless people in China, because in China, even though you are very poor, like you're a very poor person, and even though that your parents maybe have an old house inside the countryside, they have an old apartment inside the city somehow, and that house, that apartment, just paying zero tax to the government. We Chinese, we do not have property tax, housing tax. We also do not have a car tax. Like every year you need to renew a tag on your license in the United States, paying $250 something. No such thing. Once we own the car, we own the house, just no tax. We only pay tax when we buy it for one time. Okay, such like my apartment, $70,000. When I buy it, I only pay one time 1% of the tax.
Guys, to be honest, this is a big American problem that I, cited out when I was analyzing this. America has a trust issue problem, and America has, denial. problem. And this, all of this was intentional. It has been done in the conditioning and how they've literally been censoring and keeping you away from information from all around the world. And they want to keep you in a bubble of making you feel like that you are the best. You don't ever sit and wonder, why do they have to paint other people bad? We say America knows how to brand itself as the best while it tarnishes the name of other people. And whatever America pushes in the media for you to see and appreciate about it, yes, that's all that matters. But when it comes to other sides of the world, they will literally push bad narratives. That's why Americans are in denial. And Americans have trust issues because they feel like the only person that is going to tell them the right thing. That's why we don't want to stay away from you. In case you didn't know, we cannot stay away from Americans until now that we know that you are actually coming to the realization that you've been in the dark when you think you have been in the light. When you thought you knew all of it, now you are coming to terms with the realization that whatever you thought you had it all together, no, you don't have it all together. When I say America is in denial and they have trust issues and have been only conditioned to listen to their governments and nobody else, guys, that's very real. How many of us have come out on the internet here telling you, Africa is not the way you think, the way you guys have been told about it. It's very different. Some people have been crying just looking at cities in South Africa. They're like,
Bro, Africa got buildings. They got power. They got towers. Swear on everything, bro. I thought it was just clay and tribes and tents, bro. Yeah, cause the ground be like, you know, like that red orange type of clay, bro. Chat, don't act like I'm stupid, bro.
oh my God, I can't believe they have this. No way, ain't no way they do have this. That's right. You heard it right. And that conditioning of only you believing and trusting the information that comes out of your oppressors and out of, you know, the same people that are just making out of you, because America is a business. So now the world is exposing what the truth is and what the reality is. All those trust issues and the walls that you had built, they are crumbling down with the reality. With China, and that's just simply that Rednote app. People didn't even know that you guys have to work 2 jobs. People didn't know that you must have credit to literally have anything in America. People didn't know you literally have to keep paying on your house until when you die. Because these are the realities of where we live. I buy a property and that's it. I don't pay no tax for it. What for? That's done. I can go and pay cash whatever I have in my house. I am not paying on it. It's fully mine. If I go and buy a car, I'm not going to be financing it. I'm going to be having it. I don't have to be paying every year to renew the tag. And these are some of the things that people have been saying, and you're like, no, if you had it all together, all that good, why are you coming here? And you are forgetting that the same picture that America is feeding you about it's the same picture that it is feeding to the other rest of the world, telling them, marketing them as the superpower, the best of the best. We are the king in the jungle, and so everyone has to rotate when we snap. It's very, very interesting to see just a few days when America really interacts with the real world and they get to see what happens elsewhere. And they're like, oh snap, we were lied to. We are going to go on to something else that is very important here. The palm-colored, spoiled princess tears. Just like any typical palm-colored little girl, whenever they can't have something, crying, tears. Do you know how many wars have been started with that? Do you know how many people have lost their lives because of that? Because that's a typical palm-colored behavior and character. Once they don't have it, once they can't have it, they are going to cry and crash down. Oh my God, I can't have this. I can't imagine they have it better than me. And that is what triggers their men to go and start wars. Because they want the women to have it better. Spoiled. Because they can't stand it that other people have better than what they have. You have seen it in the black community. The palm-colored stare is real. I'm not going to be convinced otherwise because it is very evident. The stairs, the monitoring to see if you can afford what you have. You see the stairs they give you when you have something expensive, when you are driving in that expensive car, when you're dressed all flashy, when you can go to the restaurants, when you can afford the tours that they go to, when you can have the best. That is why they monitor you when you move in their neighborhoods. It's not because of the stereotypical, whatever black people behavior of, they are loud, or they are aggressive, or when they move. No, some people move in certain neighborhoods because they can afford it, period. Another reason because they want a bit of peace. Another reason is because they can afford it, and that's where they want to be. And if they can afford it, well and good. But you realize that they can't take it, they will cry. Have you noticed that this behavior has started coming out when the same system that was designed to benefit them, to cater for them, has turned against them? That's when now they are coming out to cry and crash out. Until when they started moving in low-income neighborhoods where black people live. Not all black people live in low-income areas, of course, right? Until some of them even started moving in the projects. Yeah. Right there. That's when they started coming out to speak about this. But all along they were compliant with the system. They were very, very, exclusive. They didn't want to let anything out. But now they are realizing that this system now has a class of people that it calls children and others are not children. And to be honest, this is what caused colonization, to be honest. When they saw that other people have it better than them, other people have better systems, there's another civilization elsewhere where people can build, where people have mathematics, where they came in a way of learning. And guess what ended up happening? Conquering just because to them, nobody else deserves to have any good thing. And that's why the government kept the people in the dark. Because how dare you tell me China has better cities? How dare you tell me China has better technologies? You ever wonder why they banned those phones from China to be sold in your country, the Huawei? But then they have iPhones. Come on, where do you think iPhones come from? They are made in China. Yes, that's why countries like Libya had to be destroyed by the US. Because guess what? You can't stand any other country that does better. People don't have credit. People can go to school for free, even for university. People don't have to go to, to pay so much out of their life to have access to health care. But who stopped all of these things? Healthcare would have been universal in the US. But they said no. These people said no. It can be universal. Why? Because black people are also going to be benefiting, and they don't want that. They have a certain level of privilege they want for themselves. Until when now their own systems have started coming for them. And that entitlement or feeling like it shouldn't be happening to me that way, that's very ridiculous. Who do you think you are? That you can't be fooled, that you can't have it bad. So you feel like, how in the world are others able to have better than me? That conditioning of making you feel like you are superior. That is what is causing all this crashing down and all the tears. It's not because, you know, you feel robbed. No, it's because you feel like, how in the world do Asians even have this, right? It's just so spoiled of them, to be honest. You have to be spoiled, that spoiled of the princess that cries for anything, you know, cries for every other person's toys, every other kid's toys, because I mean, they don't have it. That's the white, you know, tears, spoiledness. And to be honest, people have been warning people about why women tears. They have started coming. They have. And they are now facing the real world. And to be honest, guys, don't be shocked. Because with this revelation, oh darling, you're going to have to see a lot of them buying passports. Because lots of them don't even have passports, to be honest. They thought they had it all together in the US. They travel in the US all the time and they think they have traveled the world. So you're going to realize lots of them are going to want to go elsewhere. Don't be shocked when they start flooding your side of the world. And whoever ushers them in, to be honest, they are ushering in a problem. You know, I know lots of people will be like, how comes the US is open to ushering in other people and all? You know what? When other people come that side of the world, they don't come to control you. They come to really just work hard. They know they don't have enough rights. They know they are not in their home countries. They know they don't have any control of anything. All they are looking for is just bettering their lives. Guess who cannot do that? Guess who? Colored people. Anywhere they go, they want to stand out. They cannot behave themselves. They have that superiority complex of always wanting to be superior. So they will mess everything else around the world. They have started crying on the internet. Just like that. But why? Because another country has it better. But we've been coming on the internet saying all of these things. You don't believe Africans when we say these things because, yeah, of course the world has fed you a picture of those are poor, they don't have water, they don't have power, what can they even tell us? And because you see some of our people, our brothers and sisters coming over there, and you're like, why are they running out of their countries? Well, part of it is instabilities which have been created by the West and America, to be specific, to get, you know, resources and minerals and, you know, all of this, extract as much as they can to enrich themselves. But also part of another thing is probably there are not as much opportunities over here, so people want to better themselves. So someone that you see there as a refugee in your country, let me tell you something. Here, they might be millionaires, they might be billionaires, because the moment they start working, they know they can't live in that country. They know they can't. They know they have it better in their countries. That's why you realize there's a vacuum when you look at Africans and ask them about home. They're like, I can't wait to go back. I hope we don't witness another, you know, movement of them trying now to rob and even steal more, because now this has exposed their scam and their lies to the world. I hope they are not going to come and destabilize the world, because to be honest, a palm-colored person that is not satisfied with how things are going, yeah, you know, we have seen what they have done in history. And yeah, guys, I want you to let me know what you think in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not, and I will definitely see you in another amazing video. Until then, my name is Gracie and I love you. Bye.